I recently started a project upcycling a couple of pieces of fabric that had gotten torn. And so I had one that was a tapestry that was basically, I used it as a bedspread for a while, like a sheet. It has really a fairly loose weave. It's cotton and it's printed with lots of designs, flowers, animals, patterns. And through using that as a sheet, I eventually accidentally put my foot through a weak area right in the center. So it ripped like pretty much straight down the middle. It was a little bit, let's say, south of the middle. And I just thought, wow, there's no way fixing this, but it sure is a lot of fabric to just let it go to waste. So, and it's pretty cool fabric. So then I also had this gold piece of fabric that I had used as a curtain for a long time. You know, it was just really nice the way the sun would catch the gold metallic fibers, and they're not metal, they're plastic, but very shiny. The gold fabric is even more loosely woven. It is a very, very loose weave. So I had to figure out a way. They were both essentially ripped down the middle, but their middles are in different places and the fabrics themselves are different sizes. So one is like bedspread size. It said it was a twin size, but I think it's actually larger. And if it is a twin, it's like comes down on both sides, you know. And then the gold fabric is quite a bit smaller than that, and it ripped. So putting them together, I've had to use some creativity. So since it was almost at the middle, I decided I would just lay that out and try and mend the rip. I pinned some very close woven black fabric. Now this is a very tight weave, and so sewing something to it is going to help stabilize that loosely woven fabric. So I pinned the black fabric to the exact middle of the patterned fabric, and I stitched that in place to the non-ripped half of the patterned fabric. And then when that was stitched, I folded over the patterned fabric on top of that and worked to align the ripped places on the patterned fabric with each other. There was basically one long straight line with then some angles. So I was able to match it up pretty well. I got that pinned in place, pinning the patterned fabric to the black fabric. Got that sewn in place with like an interlocking stitch, and I was using a twin needle, and so with that you have bobbin thread and then you have two spools of thread above the machine. It locked the ripped part in place. I think I actually put the ripped side to the bottom of the entire piece, so you're not going to see it. This is going to be like a baby play mat or a picnic blanket, or you know, however a person could want to use it. And so you're not going to see that because that mend of the rip, it was unavoidable that that would look kind of messy. It kind of looks like a scar. I don't love that, and you know, maybe there are some techniques that could make it look slightly better, but honestly, I'm satisfied just to have salvaged it and captured the threads in a secure and stable way.
A fabric like this is kind of hard to sew because of how loose the weave is. So if you just focus on that one leg, see how like when I move it, it distorts? Okay, as opposed to like this one where I can't even move it the same way. Like it doesn't slide past itself, it's just rigid. I've sewn this elephant fabric to this black fabric to stabilize it and to patch some, well, a seriously big hole. that was in there. And then I am ironing to just flatten out the other side of the sheet.
So once I got that better looking side folded over, I analyzed that, and it has several holes and also several weak spots that are on the verge of becoming holes. So my plan was to fix some of the holes or weak spots by cutting out a neatly drawn circle. And I used a template of actually a cute little dish that apparently my great-grandparents used to have on display in their house. And so I used that small dish to draw around and then cut out that circle. And so I made a semicircle of circles in one of the parts of the fabric, so that it would be kind of like a decorative mending. It looks like it's an intentional design, and it is, but also it's fixing some holes that were there. So then further down, there are 2 holes right above the heads of the tigers, or well, okay, there was one damage hole above one of them, and the other one, it had a somewhat weak spot, but it wasn't a hole yet. So I again placed the circle template over the heads of the tigers so that it kind of, to me, looks like suns. And then lower down, one of the elephants had a pretty giant hole in the middle of it. So I again cut a circle out there. And I still, at this point of this recording, have not yet decided how many elephants to put a hole in the middle of and have that beautiful gold fabric shining through. I want to decide how it looks best in the design before cutting, because, you know, once you cut, you can't take it back.
I have the wrong sides together, and that just means the side that's not going to be seen. And I'm sewing with a running stitch with a double thread. Woohoo! This is my first project using a double thread, so that's kind of exciting. And I've cut out the accent areas that are gonna have gold showing through, so I'm excited about that. I think this is gonna be beautiful. So this is going really well so far. I'm excited because I was not planning to put the gold behind all of this area. I was just gonna do it in the spaces, the oval spaces. But I like the subtlety and like the starry sparkle of having it like behind the black and the other areas. I started this video, or this snippet, because, plan ahead. I accidentally sewed some of my pins into the sewed shut area, so I'm now like working them this way towards the hole over here, because I still haven't finished sewing that up. So I'm really glad I noticed in time. So I would show you me working it through, but I've only got 2 hands and one is holding the phone. Right, so I won't lose any. And if I did, I would take like a magnet wand and make absolutely sure I got them all out. Can't take any chances.
So far I have filled in all of the circles in the semicircle of circles, and those are sewn down. They're attached now so that the top part of the tapestry, or what I'm considering the top, the part that used to be the middle, is sewn through the close-knit black fabric and all the way to the other side of the patterned fabric. So that top part of the tapestry is sewn down, and I've also sewn consecutive semicircles inside of and outside encompassing the semicircle of circles of gold. So quite a bit of the top part of the tapestry, or the one edge of the picnic blanket baby playmat, is sewn down.
I'm going to lift up. And you can see there's like a curve because I was sewing around a circular area. Got that nice curve there. I think that's really satisfying. And now I'm going to be cutting gold off. I really like this edging. I think it's so nice. I'll probably use it for something else more visible in another project. Cutting tool. Usually I would use scissors, but my scissors are out of commission for the present. Anyway, so I'm going to use this rotary cutter. So far, so good. It's cutting through really easily, so it's nice. And as I go, I'm trying to keep the fabric somewhat flat. Okay, so here's the biggest payoff, because once I cut this piece off of the rest, then I'll have all of this fabric back again. Some of it will be used on this blanket project, and some will be used in other things later. And here it is, all cut off and ready for the next steps.
So then I have also pinned in place gold squares that I cut out that fit over the circles above the tiger heads and in the center of that one elephant.
Just wanted to quickly show you what I am doing. Can you see the turquoise blue thread? I was going to try to sew these on the sewing machine right away. So the pins are just as you can see, falling out. It's even worse if you pick it up. The flap will just completely fall over and all the pins fall out. It's not already sewn in the sewing machine, I just basted it, which is what I'm doing to the others. And I'm going to be using these threads, J&P Coats Dual Duty Cotton Covered Polyester. This one I have back here is Coats. I think it's the same brand, honestly. But yeah, I have a lot of thread that previous generations bought and just didn't get used or didn't get used up.
What remains to do at this point is the 3 remaining edges, that will be the last thing I do, will be sewn around, and I'm going to need a lot of black thread for that because I'm planning on doing a running stitch with a twin needle for stability, but I want it to look neat and tidy, and I just think that the interlocking stitch that I've been doing around each hole looks better as a decorative element around the holes, and also so it's encapsulating all of those cut loose threads. And it's just not needed at the edges of the tapestry, and I think the running stitch will look better.
Is that a good cave?
Hmm?